Sometimes the hardest part of chasing a dream isn't failing. It's working hard for so long and still having nothing to show for it. You keep trying, you keep improving, but nothing seems to change. And eventually, quitting starts to feel easier than hoping again. But sometimes, the absence of results doesn't mean nothing is happening. Sometimes you're improving in ways you cannot see yet. This is the story of a young man who almost walked away from his dream just before someone finally noticed how far he had come. His name was Rowan Hale. He had spent almost a year trying to become a professional designer. Then, one rainy evening, his 8th rejection arrived. Rowan stared at the screen and quietly said, "I'm done." Rowan wasn't lazy. He wasn't careless. Every evening after work, he practiced. He studied better designers. He rebuilt his portfolio. Then he applied again, and again, and again. 7 companies had already said no. Now there was an 8th. Rowan slowly closed his laptop. He didn't throw anything. He didn't blame anyone. He simply sat there in silence. "I've given this everything I have." Then he whispered, "I'm done." The next morning, Rowan didn't practice. He didn't open his portfolio. He didn't search for another opportunity. He simply walked. For the first time in a year, he wasn't chasing anything. Then his phone rang. Rowan almost ignored it. He looked at the number. He recognized it. It was one of the companies that had rejected him months earlier. "Hello? Is this Rowan Hale?" "Yes." "We found your portfolio again." A pause. "Could you come in tomorrow?" The next day, Rowan sat across from Elena Voss. She opened his old portfolio. "You know why we rejected you?" Rowan lowered his eyes. "Because I wasn't good enough?" Elena shook her head. "No." She turned the pages. "You were improving." Elena placed his first application beside his 7th. The difference was obvious. His lines were cleaner. His ideas were stronger. His work had more confidence. "You were getting better every time," she said. "You just never stayed long enough to see it." Rowan became completely silent, because that hurt more than the rejections. She was right. Elena didn't offer him the job. Instead, she pointed at his weakest design. "Come back in 30 days. Fix this." Rowan looked at the page. 30 days. Not forever. Just one more try. He nodded. For 30 days, Rowan worked. Before work. After work. On weekends. He studied. He practiced. He destroyed bad drafts and started again. Some days were terrible, but he kept showing up. Something else changed too. Rowan stopped asking, "Why isn't this working?" Instead, every night he asked, "What can I improve tomorrow?" He stopped measuring himself by results. He started measuring himself by progress. And slowly, his work began to change. 30 days later, Rowan walked back into Elena's office. He placed the new design on the table. Elena studied it. Silence. Rowan waited. Then she looked up. "This is completely different." Elena smiled. "Now you're ready." Rowan didn't celebrate. He just stood there. Because he remembered the night he almost quit. The night he thought nothing was changing. But it had been changing. Every single day. Months later, Rowan's name appeared on the company's main project board. He stood there quietly. No celebration. No speech. Just a small smile. Because his success hadn't suddenly appeared that day. It had been building during all those days, when he thought nothing was happening. That evening, Rowan opened his old laptop. The 8th rejection was still there. He stared at it for a moment, then smiled. Because now he understood something he hadn't understood before. The rejection wasn't the end. Quitting would have been. The biggest mistake Rowan almost made wasn't failing. It was using today's results to decide what tomorrow was capable of. He thought nothing was changing. But while he was waiting for success, he was becoming the person capable of achieving it. So if you're tired of trying, and you're thinking about quitting something that still matters to you, don't make your final decision on your worst day. Give yourself one more honest try. You may be closer than you think.